So pretty much every single thing that I say or talk about on this channel in terms of the sinister narrative behind the scenes with the UFC has been validated by Tyron Woodley last night.
Sometimes we get hand-fed the star. Hold on, guys. This is your star now. Everybody, he's the star, right? We've seen it with Izzy Adesanya. He was New Zealand, and all of a sudden now he's Wakanda. I don't like guys that are fake.
He talks about numerous fighters popping into Dana's office, closing the door, bending the knee and kissing the ring, just to get a little pat on the head from Dana and get presented to the world as the next star.
Nice.
So we're going to talk about Tyron Woodley, Israel Adesanya, Kamaru Usman and even Sean Strickland, all bunched in under this umbrella of trash talk from Tyron Woodley, the former world champion. And it's interesting how the whole lot kind of tied together yesterday, because we had Israel Adesanya over on the Joe Rogan podcast. I actually watched it for the first time in years, watching Joe Rogan, and it wasn't bad, but there was a lot of lies and there was a lot of weird behavior from Israel Adesanya, which can be expected. He talked about this clandestine agreement that him and Dricus had during the third round of their fight, where they kind of both knew that we were going to take it easy.
Feeling fatigued in the last round with Dricus?
I don't think so. There was one point in the third round where me and him, we really put it on, and we kind of had this like low-key agreement, like, okay, you're f***ed, I'm f***ed. Let's chill for a little bit.
That story sounds completely made up, to be honest with you, but it made for a nice soundbite saying that we had some sort of telepathic communications where we both decided that we were going to go easy. Okay, cool. And he does what he normally does in terms of promoting himself and being delusional. So the closest that Israel got to a compliment there was that he was low-key, no cap, prime, low-key, strong-willed. And also the only reason he got up and trun was to stop me from putting him out. And also when I sprawled, I almost knocked him out, and he wasn't really strong, but he was kind of strong-willed.
Gay!
He continued to talk about how he would beat Strickland. I can get that guy. I know him better than that guy. He said that Sean Strickland never hurt him. That one punch kind of stung him, but after that I was pretty much just giving Mark Goddard the thumbs up because I'm so unbelievably tough. He continued to say that he could beat Dricus du Plessis. That slip and pointing out that I slipped was probably the reason that I lost that fight. Okay, interesting. And I don't know whether it was a premeditated strategy for the Overdog podcast to put out the clip of Tyron Woodley talking about Israel Adesanya on the same day that this big podcast dropped with Joe Rogan. But that's exactly what happened. And first of all, I saw the clip of it and I was like, whoa, he's gone in hard there on Israel and Usman, the two Wakandans. And then I listened for a little bit more context and we'll have a little look.
The division to be shaken up a little bit, because sometimes we get hand-fed the star. Hold on, guys. This is your star now. Everybody, he's the star, right? We've seen it with Izzy Adesanya. I really don't fuck with Izzy. He's fake. He was New Zealand, and all of a sudden now he's Wakanda. I don't like guys that are fake.
I don't know if there's ever a case of where we can put up a fighter or an ex-fighter who says it the way it is. Maybe Brendan Shaw, maybe people that have beef with Dana will bring it up from time to time. But like just putting it out there that this is the star, we're being fed the star. Here's Sean O'Malley, here's Israel Adesanya, here's Paddy Pimblett. These are all the stars. Are they the stars that people love to get behind and that people love to spend their money to watch? No, but that doesn't matter because we're telling you they're the stars, because as he said, the knees were bent and rings were kissed. And this is what you get. You get to become a star when you do that. And when you don't, like Tyron Woodley, you don't get to be a star. Now, obviously, I don't agree with anything that this dude says normally. And he does seem a little bit bitchy towards the organization or towards what he could have had or should have had. But he's fairly balanced, because I've listened to a nice little bit of him talking last night. And he's fairly balanced, to be fair.
I don't like guys that are fake. No, these dudes, I'm being real. Izzy and Usman are conveniently African.
You are the real.
They were never African, right? So after he beat me, they didn't raise up Usman. They raised up Africa. It was Usman, Sadiq Yusuf, Israel Adesanya, and Francis Ngannou together. So when you think about it, Usman was Marty from Nebraska. He hated that, but he wasn't Kamaru Usman, proud of his heritage in college. He went by Marty, right? And what's the name was an anime crumping, dancing dude from New Zealand. They never spoke about their African heritage. They never were so proud of it. Francis Ngannou was, for sure, and so was Sadiq Yusuf. But then when it became convenient, then they raised up the whole continent. I thought that was corny.
But Marty from Nebraska decided to go full Wakanda, and so did the anime guy. This is something that I've said over and over again. I'm actually wondering if Woodley will experience the same sort of pushback in terms of hater and racist and all these type of words that get thrown around every time you point out the fact that the Wakanda forever, we're all African, the Three Kings, all this bullshit is all astroturf garbage. Not even them guys believe. I'm wondering, will he get that sort of pushback?
And anybody that go in there and kiss ass in the office was getting the checks and they was getting what they needed to get, right? And I just always love that I can look in the mirror and know I never kissed a pinky ring, never bent over, never took some shit that didn't benefit me. And sometimes I got in trouble for it, but I never, not one time, Dana can never say I've kissed a pinky ring. Ever.
How many times has Israel Adesanya, Kamaru Usman, Sugar Sean O'Malley, Paddy Pimblett, all these guys kissed that ring? That's what we'd like to know. I can tell you for 100% fact, one person who definitely doesn't kiss that ring, that's Sean Strickland. And I thought it was interesting, and I pulled up this article here where Tyron Woodley goes after Sean Strickland and he calls him a hater for ducking the Jake Paul sparring match. Legally, UFC cannot stop him.
You don't have to ask nobody if you can fight.
And Hunter Campbell told Sean Strickland no.
Legally, they cannot stop him from sparring Jake Paul. Really? Jake Paul said he wanted to spar him the same way Sneeko walked into the cage.
Yeah.
Now I want you to know he had to walk through security. He had to be signed in on a list. I know that. That's the apex. That's the apex. They let him come in there. He signed something to go in there and do that, right? So if he can do that, he can spar with anybody he wants to.
And when you go down that route of why Woodley would go after Sean Strickland, is it because he's outspoken or is it because he lost so badly to Jake Paul? Absolutely face planted, and now he would like to see the same thing happen to Sean Strickland. I don't know, it's kind of hard to work out how Tyron Woodley's head works. A lot of people say that Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington ended his career, ended his mental stability, because after that he just started to lose the plot. You remember the Black Lives Matter garbage? That was insane, right?
To deal with them, or are you kind of happy you don't have to put up with his stuff today?
I'm just excited that Black Lives Matter.
Is that shocking to you at all that he hasn't gone into more like he normally does?
I'm just really excited that Black Lives Matter.
Are you at a point in your career where you wouldn't do that?
I feel like, a victory here just really shows how much Black Lives matter.
Fuck off.
So you have that kind of being slow and retardedness about Black Lives Matter, but that kind of comes part and parcel with the victim consciousness that a lot of these lads suffer from. So Black Lives Matter, but African Black lives don't matter. That seems to be the message that Tyron Woodley put out there. And it's not his first time going in on Israel Adesanya either.
Are you going back to the UFC when you return to MMA?
Only thing that would get me back to the UFC, the only person I would just want to beat the fuck out of is Israel Adesanya. I don't like him.
Why you don't like him? Because he be wearing like those pearl necklaces and shit?
Nah, because he cap. How's he cap? Because he was never Israel Adesanya. How do I do this again? I filter myself now. Filter myself.
So for whatever reason, you can call him a hater, but he doesn't seem to like Israel Adesanya. He's gone in him a couple of different times. He's called him out for the AstroTurf Wakanda forever and we are the Three Kings garbage that everyone else propagates and pushes forward. No one believes that garbage. We know that it's been fed to us by the UFC. And I'm actually glad that not only is he a fighter, but he's an ex-champion that's coming out saying this stuff. And it might wake up a few more people. Let me know if any of this made sense. Maybe hit like, subscribe and share if it did. Cheers.